Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. Today I got a rather unusual reel to work on. At first glances it appears to be an ambassador, but it's not. This is the Heddon Mark IV model 3200 with ball bearings in it. What's unusual about this reel is kind of the way that it disengages for free spool and for casting. There's a lever on the non-gear side that pushes down and actually pulls your line guide away. Now this is a stationary line guide. It does not move when your spool is casting, and it's one of those things where you need to center your line guide before you do the cast, otherwise you'll put pressure on the side-to-side movement of the line, and that will restrict the distance for casting. Once you turn your reel to engage, it resets your flip switch and it resets your line guide. So we're going to take this reel apart. We'll see what's inside it. I haven't had the opportunity to work on one of these. We'll see what it's all about. We'll service it for Chris. We'll get it out there fishing again. We're going to start by removing the exterior pieces and parts. While I do that, I want to encourage you to subscribe to my channel. If you do subscribe to my channel, please use that notification button. It'll let you know when I'm posting videos about reel repair, the fishing reel industry, and the latest in tackle, and most importantly, how to keep your reels serviced and fishing for a long time to come. So we just took the handle cap nut off. We took the screw that holds the bridge post in place. Now we're going to remove the star adjuster. And Heddon has been around a long time. It was a catalog company. I believe it was out of Wisconsin. And well, it was kind of a place to turn to for quite a few years. James Heddon, I think, was the founder of it, if I remember correctly. They were selling all kinds of things, and one of the things they kind of became famous for was knockoff lures for their catalog. So the lures were pretty much popularized by tackle manufacturers of the time, and then Heddon would come in and darn near make the same lure, different name, and well, sell them in a catalog for worldwide consumption, I guess. So the Heddon catalogs were around a long time. They were an outdoors company, a sporting goods company, so it wasn't just fishing equipment. And a lot of the Heddon reels were made by trade manufacturers, some of them made in the U.S., some of them made in Japan. And I'll take a moment after I get this side case off here to take a look at where this one was made. Probably Japan, I would think. So it puts it in the 70s or the 80s. Made in Japan, yeah. So you saw a lot of the early ones would say assembled in the U.S. at the time, right? Daisy Heddon and the like. Okay. All right, we're going to take the side plate off, get our first look at what's underneath here. Pretty straightforward reel. Kind of an interesting set here. This is that free spool release. So there's got to be a lever in here somewhere. This very much looks like an ambassador kind of a setup for your main gear. We have a finger dog for your anti-reverse. I'm going to take that off so I can get a little bit of a better look in terms of what's going on here. Let's pull this lever down and see. We can get this out of the way. All right, so what's happening here for your free spool release, this is your tensioner. This is going to pull out when this rotates up. Rather clever, simple design. Let's go do that right now. There shouldn't be anything, because I'm not seeing bridge springs here other than this one. There shouldn't be anything that's going to flip weirdly. But you'll pull up and see how it's riding up on the ramp here. There's a ramp. It's going to ride up on the ramp. It's going to, the same motion it's pulling down on your piece. There you go. It pulls this out and away from the spool, so that your spool can go into free spool now, because it's disengaged from the spool. You can see it here, how it's disengaged right there. That's a fun little thing. Okay, a quick little cleanup here. This reel's pretty clean. Just put a little bit of penetrating oil on there, knock off that little bit of grease that's sitting there. There's nothing on this. I think if anything we could say this reel needs a service because it's dry and all the greases and oils have evaporated. Alright, just quick grease there, grease on the spool shaft. We'll take a look at that spool from the other side. A little bit of grease here on the bridge post. Let's take this off now and see what we've got underneath here. It's a good place to tell you to take pictures. If you're working on a reel like this, probably won't have the documentation, so you're going to want to make sure that the pictures act as your documentation when you're servicing the reel. So I'm cleaning up the back face of this. It just has a very simple single drag washer here. And this is your click maker. That's why you have these teeth. As your drag is spinning backwards, it is going to click between these offsets, a little wire right there, and make a noise to let you know that the bait is going out. On this side we have a couple of different things going on. This is your anti-reverse tooth ratchet. This is your drive that's going to reset the pieces. Okay. Our tooth just, our anti-reverse dog just fell out. That's okay. Keep track of it. That's why you take pictures, in case you didn't know where that thing was. You know where it is now. Alright. This is a finger jointed piece. They don't need to touch. They do need to be separated for your anti-reverse click. And you need to put the beak of your anti-reverse dog into the gap, or the claw, if you will, of the gear. So it sets like that. Alright, bring that back over and out. We've greased this. This is the post where your anti-reverse dog is going to lay on. Just bring it in. That was easy enough. Sometimes it's almost like too easy, right? Bring it all the way down, and that is the basic service of the internal side of your piece. We have two tension washers. They are bowed. I put the belly up on the first, the belly down on the second. That's generally the way that is the mid-range. Put the plastic piece over the top. Check our back. We're in good condition here. We have a bearing in the cap here, so we're going to oil that. And then we can reinstall the case. And then we'll go over to the other side after we install the 3 screws here. While I'm doing that, I want to encourage you to ask questions if you have any questions along the way, maybe on this reel or another reel. Questions are a good way to learn, and maybe even a way out of a jam. If you're working on something and you're stuck and you're not quite sure how it came apart, how it goes together, I'm not afraid to try and help you out there. That's the whole idea behind the channel. I'm trying to teach you how to do it yourself. And, well, the only thing I'm probably not very good at is what we're doing right here, which is trying to get these small little screws started in the case. There we go. We all have our struggles. Mine happens to be with little screws. Okay. Inside has been taken apart. We've seen how this one works. We've been able to lubricate it up. And we can put it back together again. So even though it looks very much like an ambassador, in no way does it share any of the design components with it. Right now I'm going to just try a screw starter, see if I can have a little bit better luck. I can. And I never tighten down all the way with the screw starter because of the split blade, but I do use it to do most of it. The problem with trying to tighten down with this screwdriver is that it's a split blade and you can push it out of shape. So just use it to start it up, close it up. Okay, kind of a fun design there. Alright, we'll go over to the pole and the worm gear after we put the rest of this on. We'll put our star adjuster back on. If it's not going on easy, stop. You're probably cross-stripping it. If you're cross-stripping it, that is going to be a major problem. trying to find parts to replace them. Screw goes in to hold the bridge post down. I'm thinking we may not be able to get the handle over. I'm guessing the handle had to go on first. Yeah, the handle goes on first. Not a big deal, but if you were wondering why you're stuck there, it might become a big deal. So go back to your pictures that you took and realize that you had to take that screw out first. Okay, cap nut goes on. Again, hand tighten as much as you can. That way you can assure that you're not ripping it out. Tighten it down. We can go give that a click, make sure everything's working there. And then I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to oil the worm gear. The worm gear is very clean, but you should be looking at the pawl, making sure that there's no dirt and debris inside the pawl. Okay, with the pawl out, check, make sure it's nice and clean. This one is. I'm going to go ahead and put it right back in. Before I put it in too far, I do like to get a drop of oil on it. Push that in, make sure that it seats all the way. How do you do that? Just hold your finger down, make sure that it's turning back and forth. It should be flat with the top. If it's extended beyond the top, then you want to make certain that you use your finger to guide it into the track of the worm gear before continuing. Okay. Want to get over to this side. We'll take a look at how that little lever works. This is how you remove the spool. The spool's coming out from this side. Has the 3 same side plate screws that the other one did. So we'll put those off to the side. I use a parts tray. You should have a parts management system so that you know what you're doing when you take these off, and that you have a place that you won't lose them or misplace them when you're ready to reassemble the reel. All right, let's see what happens here. Okay, 2 things going on. The first, you can remove the spool. Secondly, we can clean this up. We'll do the same thing here that we did on the other one. You do not have to remove these pieces if you can clean them all off. There's just some light grease on here, so that's going to be fine. Take a picture just in case you wind up doing that, though. You've got a spring here. It's mounted, kind of a straight spring, but it's kind of here, bent under here, over the lever here. All good. Second ball bearing is on this side, and I did notice that this thing really has a nice smooth spin to it. These are centrifugal brakes. They're going to pull out. When you go to load, bring them in. They're opposing. A little bit of grease onto the side shafts of both spools. Bring that one back in. That's spring loaded. This is your tensioner. Okay, rather simple service, but just no one said services have to be complicated. You do need to make sure you've done exactly what we've done here. You've taken the reel apart, you've inspected the pieces, you made sure that there's no damage on them, you cleaned up the old greases and oils, which we've done. We've replaced that with fresh oils and greases. And we'll put the side cases back on. We're using that screw starter again. It's working. We'll give it a test. We'll see how we did. Get this one back to Chris to take fishing again. Very nice reel overall, the Heddon Mark IV. Okay, once you get them started, you can switch over to a traditional screwdriver. And finish it up. Well, if you like this kind of video, please indicate that. Do a like on the button there. Again, if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything, and well, it's intended for you, so take advantage of the program. Okay, our Heddon Mark IV looks like an ambassador. It's not an ambassador. What did we do? We took off your gear side plate. We removed the main gear structure. We've checked all of that out, including the drag washers. Lubricated it after we cleaned. Same thing with the pinion gear. Showed you that interesting little release point for this. Came over to this side, lubricated up the release mechanism, pulled the spool, did an oil on the bearings here, lubricated the spool shaft. Now it's time for a test. Well, runs nice and free and easy as it's been running. A little bit of a noise on that little handle there. Let's just give that a little bit of oil on both points there. That'll quiet that down. We do have the adjuster here for the spool tensioner. This one runs nice and smooth. I like this reel. All right, let's check it out. You want to, if you're casting, you want to center the line guide because it does not move during casting. It brings it down, and interestingly enough, that line should set right in that little top of the arc here when you're casting. When it's time to retrieve, click it. It'll bring it back in. This is a smoothie ready to go fishing again. I hope you've enjoyed that. Before I leave, I want to thank our first responders, our police, fire, safety, rescue, everybody involved in keeping us out of harm's way. I truly appreciate your dedication to task and your career choice, and that you're working in the public good. I want to thank all of our viewers for watching, for making this channel what it is, for constantly helping me to evolve, to meet your desires and needs in terms of what you'd like to see from a fishing perspective, and well, just keeping it fresh. This is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle, wishing everybody a great day.